What is going on, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG coming at you on this very early Monday morning to bring you Patriarch Qi for noobs. Now we got the Renara event coming up, so I decided I've done Lake already. I decided to do the individual Pandas for noob series for anybody kind of wondering what they got to do to get them ready or what they should be focusing on per character. Now, as always for the noob series, I am in the test account. But before we get into Patriarch Qi for noobs, if you are not part of that XMG family, become part of that XMG family. Click that subscribe button, like the videos, share them, leave me comments, all that good stuff that goes along with it. Turn on notifications. Again, just a reminder about the giveaway. You can enter once per video. If you leave a comment on any of the videos starting with the announcement of the giveaway, you are automatically entered. If you are a subscriber, we are shooting for the goal of 650 subscribers. I've grown about 20 subscribers since the announcement of that video, so thank you all for the support. It is extremely overwhelming. And also, one more thing. My boy over at Take One Gaming Ash is doing a survey. Popping up on the screen now is a link to that video. I think it is a really cool survey, and I really want to see how it turns out. It is a survey of the community as a whole, top 5 characters in the game. So if you haven't had a chance to take that survey, please pop over, take that survey, because I am extremely interested in to see those results. Great idea by Ash, so shout out to him. So let's get into Patriarch Qi for noobs. Now, Patriarch Qi is an order panda, healer, and a leader. So Patriarch Qi is the predominant lead for the Panda faction right now. As Lake becomes more accessible and people start ranking him up, he could be a contender. And then we also have Qin Li, who will be the next noob series. But let's take a look at Patriarch Qi's overall stats. Now he's gear 11, and he does magic damage. So his magic damage comes in at 2659, critical chance of 20.41%. Now remember that healers can crit on a heal, so keep that in mind, but it's really not a top focus. His health is at 24,051. Physical armor is at 29%. His magic armor is at 37%. His shield is at 26,918. His speed is at 127. Tenacity at 28%. So what did we learn by looking at Patriarch Qi's stats? We learned that he has over 50,000 health and shield, so that is really good. His physical armor at 29% is a little bit below average, but his magic armor is very good at 37%, and his speed starting at 127 is right about middle of the road. So let's take a look at his move kit and see what anything from his stats incorporate to his move kit. His first ability is called Dragon Strike, and at level 6 it deals 220% of magic damage to an enemy, a 50% chance for Qin Li and a random ally to gain shield equal to 50% of the damage dealt. So to break that down, because it is kind of a mouthful, you have a 1 in 2 chance, 50%, for Qin Li and a random ally to gain a shield equal to 50% of the damage dealt. So magic damage becomes important, but potency really doesn't have anything to do with this. It's just a 1 in 2 shot. Ability 2 is called Fortitude. Gives an ally shield equal to 700% of Patriarch Qi's magic damage and removes 2 debuffs from an ally. So he is a dispeller and a restoring shield. So he increases survivability through shield rather than health. Third ability is called Meditation, and that gains an armor increase and applies it to all allies for 2 turns. So we noticed that his physical armor was weaker, a little bit below average, but he is giving everybody an armor increase, again, increasing the survivability of your team. And his passive ability, when applying shield, Patriarch Qi has a 40% chance to heal an ally for 30% of the shield. So what we're looking at here is that Patriarch Qi has a 40% chance, which really doesn't have anything to do with potency, to heal an ally for 30% of the shield he's putting on them. So this ties into his ability where he puts on a shield for 700 of the magic damage under fortitude, and he can also heal them as he puts it on, but it is only a 40% chance. Then Sensei is his leadership ability, and all ally healing spells apply shield equal to 45% of the healing. All attacks by allies from the order restore their shield by 20% of the damage dealt. So his leadership is heavily focused around the survivability through the shield. And that is a common thing we've seen, is that he puts back the shield, either equal to healing or either equal to the damage dealt. And the problem is it's not the maximum, their maximum shield, so stacking shield on your pandas isn't going to really benefit other than the fact that he has more to restore. Now, all allies attacks by the order restore their shield by 20% of their damage dealt. So that is big for, every time they go, they're always restoring shield. And I've said this multiple times, the pandas really don't have a dedicated healer in the team. They only have spot healing. Now, this is a great leadership because it doesn't say pandas. It says all allies, healing spells. So if you put in a Xantera, who's a healing beast, you put in a Soleus underneath this leadership, you're reaping the benefits way more. Sadly for the pandas, it's nice, but it doesn't come to its full potential for the panda faction until they get a dedicated healer. So what do we learn from his move kit? We learned he needs magical damage, because that's how he restores his shield. But we also learned, as many healers, we need him to go fast. The faster he goes, the quicker he gets his cooldown fortitude back, the quicker he can apply that armor increase to the whole clan. So there's a couple ways we can rune this guy. You could go damage with a health set. You could go all health on the guy. You could go speed with a health set. You could go damage with a tenacity, speed with a tenacity, because you want to look for some tenacity with him because you really don't want him to be stunned or taken out of the battle. I am going to go speed with a health set on him. I'm going to be looking for damage secondaries, more speed in the secondaries. I'm going to be looking for tenacity, survivability in the form of health and shield. So I am going to rune him, and I just want to let you know that when it comes to runing them, for a noob series, I've gotten comments that people like the way that I rune them with the 2-dot mods. And then I have people who say that I should rune them higher because they're becoming more accessible. So I just decided to rune them higher. And that doesn't change what you're looking for in the primary or the secondary stats, but then we can kind of see the full flavor of what potential the champion could be sitting at. So that's the way I'm doing it. And if you don't like it, let me know. If you like it, let me know. That way I can change it up to make this what everybody wants to see. So let me rune him, and I will be right back. Okay, we are back with a full rune amulet. And I decided to go, like I said, speed and health. And focusing, again, primarily on damage, health, shield, speed, tenacity for secondary stats. So quickly going over his runes. In the northern rune, we have the damage primary, obviously. We have shield, speed, armor, and shield. In the northeastern rune, I went with the speed primary with shield, critical chance. We really don't need, but it had the damage hit twice. It had shield and some armor, so I stuck with that one. In the southeastern rune, obviously we have the armor primary. I went with speed because it hit twice and gave him 10 extra speed, health, and damage twice. So good overall rune for Patriarch Qi. Then I went with the damage primary. You could go health here, but I went with damage because speed hit twice, giving it 8. It has another damage increase and health. So kept that on him. Then in the southwestern rune, I went with a shield primary because the speed hit twice to 8. You could go health. Shield or health here really benefits Patriarch Qi either way you do it. So I went with the best secondary stats I could find, with the armor hitting twice, tenacity giving 1.4%, and then it's a little damage sprinkled in. Then on the Northwestern rune, I really tried to get a tenacity rune that I liked with the primary, but I could not get what I wanted to out of the secondary stats, so I went with an armor, having him take less damage. I brought, it has damage, it has speed, it has damage again, and some health. But I really would have preferred a tenacity rune here, but after about 20 minutes of trying to farm a tenacity rune with what I was looking for, I had about enough, and this rune did and accomplished what I needed it to do. So let's take a look at his stats and see what it did to Patriarch Qi. We brought up his magic damage 439, bringing it almost to 3100, so pretty happy with that. Critical chance up 1%, not too worried about that at all. We brought up his health 3398, almost 3400, bringing it to 27,449. Brought up his physical armor 4.7% to 33.71%, bringing up his magic armor 5.36%, bringing it to 42%. We brought up his shield 6,289 to a total of 33,207. So we brought his health and armor combination to over 60,000. So that is very good for a healer. Really happy with that. We brought up his speed a whopping 75 to 202. Tenacity only up 1.4%. Again, I would have liked to get that primary on there, but it is what it is, so I'm leaving it there. So all in all, we accomplished what we wanted to do besides the increase really to the tenacity. We gave him more armor. We got his health and shield way higher. We increased his damage, but we did sacrifice some of the damage to get him more speed. And we got his speed to 202. Very happy with that. So let's talk about the scroll sync with Patriarch Qi, and there's a couple different ways to start him. And the main couple focuses for him is, if you got to think, are you using him as a leader or not? If you're not using him as a leader, then you can do this a little differently. If you're using him as a leader, we got to focus on his leadership a little bit more. So I am going to say that you're going to be using him as a leader in this, but I'll kind of talk about it as I go. So remember, all abilities are taken to level 2. So let's talk about it. His basic ability, Dragon Strike, deals 95% of magic damage to an enemy. A 20% chance for Kinley and a random ally to gain shield equal to 20% of the damage dealt. And as we go up, you see magical damage and shield size increasing. His Fortitude ability at level 2, it gives an ally a shield equal to 270% of Patriarch Qi. At level 4, we start getting the debuff off, and with a 50% chance to remove a debuff. At level 5, we just simply remove it. And at level 6, we remove 2 debuffs with the 700% of his magical damage. His Meditation ability, at level 2, we gain an armor increase and apply it to 2 allies for 2 turns. And we get another ally, reduce the cooldown, another ally and reduce the cooldown, and another ally and reduce the cooldown. Passive ability at level 2, Crane Technique. When applying shield, Patriarch Qi has a 30% chance to heal an ally for 10% of the shield. Healing amount, chance to heal an ally, healing amount, and healing amount. And then his leadership ability at level 2, all allied healing spells apply shield equal to 25% of healing. All attacks by allies from the order restore a shield by 4% of the magic dealt. And then we go up with healing and shield. So if you are going to start and you want him to be your healer or your leader, because maybe you don't have a Soleus unlocked yet or something like that, you're definitely going to work on his leadership ability first, because that increases the survivability of all order members to the party, and all ally healing spells increase your survivability. But if you're not using him as a leader, I would go to Fortitude first. So if you're using him as a leadership, I would take his leadership all the way to level 6. If you're not, I would start with Fortitude and take that all the way to level 6. So if I'm using him as a leader 6, fortitude 6. So after that, regardless of which way you went first, I would be moving to meditation. I'm going to take that to level 6. Then I am going to take his basic ability to level 6. And then I am going to take his crane technique to level 6. Now the reason I left the crane technique to level 6 is because even at maxed out, you still only have a 40% chance, a less than 1 in 2 chance to apply the heal. His other abilities are going to do more things for your team before his passive ability, so that is why I left that for last. But he's a very, in my opinion, very easy person to scroll. So all in all, guys, that's Patriarch Qi in a nutshell. That is Patriarch Qi for noobs. I really like Patriarch Qi. He does bring a lot to the table, but he brings it more as an order side completely than just a panda side for the faction itself. So what you have to remember is you are not going to be getting his full potential as a leader by running all pandas under his leadership. But he's a really cool character, very, very mid-game, end-game viable. So there you go. Coming up next, I have the tank of the team, Kinley for noobs. So that's what I got for everybody this morning. I love y'all. Don't forget to go to Ash's video and vote. Don't forget about the giveaway and to subscribe. Again, I love y'all. Thank you for the support. So overwhelming. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.